Welcome back. We are still in Breaking the Fourth Wall. We are talking about surface area in the real world. Let's get started. Sense R Us produces candles in a variety of shapes. To produce each candle, the company first creates a mold, then pours hot wax into the mold. When the hot wax cools and solidifies, the mold is removed. So, we're talking about candle making, and if you don't know what a candle mold is, I went ahead and just Googled some examples so that you can see. So if you look at these cool examples, now these aren't pyramids and prisms. Well, these ones are. This one is. But they are really cool still to look at. Okay. Each of these, for example, look at this one. This cool candle came out of this mold. So we're not talking about nasty mold. We're talking about molding the candle into a shape. So this is what we are talking about. Cool. All right. So we've got four molds. We've got candle A, which is a what kind of shape? What does that look like? It is a triangular pyramid. Then you've got candle B, candle C, and candle D. And question one says classify the shape of each candle based on the candle mold. Now, I already gave you one. I want you to go ahead and answer B, C, and D. So what are one, two, three, four? What are the shapes or the names of the shapes for B, C, and D? Go ahead and answer that. Question number one. Take about 1 minute and 1 minute only. Pause here. Alrighty, let's check our answers. So I gave you the first one, or we talked about the first one already. It is a triangular pyramid. B is a rectangular prism, C is a triangular prism, and D is a rectangular prism again. All right, let's move forward. Question number two, it says, use each candle mold to answer each question. First, we need to calculate the surface area of each candle, and then answer, how could Sense R Us use surface area of the candles to determine how to price each candle? Already at this time, I want to make sure that you are successful before letting you go. So I'm going to show you candle mold A, how we would calculate the surface area so that you have an example. And then you are going to do B, C, and D on your own. So for A, it looks like we've got one triangle in the center as our base. I'm going to highlight that in blue. And then we've got three congruent triangles as our faces. I'm going to shade these green because I'm going to color code my work so that I know what I'm solving for. I'm going to start with the base. So always start with our formula. I know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 times base times height. And we're going to fill this in. Area is equal to 1/2 times the base I can see is 5. And the height, it tells me with that arrow that it is 4 and 33/100. Now I can solve. It does not matter the order which you solve, but I always like to divide or multiply by a half last. So I know 5 times 4 and 33/100 gives us 21 and 65/100. And then when I multiply it by a half or split it in half, that gives us 10 and 83/100 inches squared. Now for our outer faces, A is equal to 1/2 base times height because they are triangles. Area is equal to 1/2 times what is the base? The base is 5. And the height is also 5, showing it with that arrow. And also, this is also where I like to add in the fact that I've got 3 triangles. So I'm going to multiply all of that by 3. That way, all I have to do is just add whatever I get here to that 10 and 83 hundredths. All right, A is equal to 1 half times, I can probably do this mentally. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 3, thinking about quarters, that gives us 75. And then 75 times 2, divided by 2 would give us 37 and 5 tenths inches squared. Now, when we add those up together, we'll get a total surface area is equal to 48 and 33 hundredths inches squared. So there's your example for candle mold A. Now, for candle mold B, if you need more room, you can write up here. For candle mold C, there is room. Or also remember you have room down here underneath 2A to calculate the surface area of each candle as well. All right, on your own or with a partner, you are now solving or answering questions 2A and 2B. Go ahead and set your timer for about 10 minutes of solving because there are a lot of calculations involved. 10 minutes on the clock. Let me write that down. Take 10 minutes on the clock to go ahead and solve for the surface area of those shapes. Pause here. Alrighty, let's go ahead and check your answers. So for candle mold B, you should have gotten 46 inches squared. For candle mold C, you got 54 inches squared. And for candle mold D, you got 32 and 1/10 inch squared. If you don't have those answers, go back and check your work so that your answers do then match these answers. Alrighty. And for part B, you should have answered, how could Sensor Us use the surface area of the candles to determine how to price each candle? Well, if you worked with a neighbor, great. You probably had the same or different answers. What I want you to do is discuss your answer with a new neighbor and see what they came up with. Alrighty, at this time, this concludes the learning for activity 2.2. I'm sorry, is this 2.2? 2.4, excuse me, activity 2.4. I hope you learned a little bit more about how to calculate the surface area of prisms and pyramids. Alrighty, I will see you in the next video.